We are live from Crusaders headquarters. I am King Nico, and if you are watching and listening to this, you are the resistance. So welcome back, everyone. So welcome back. We were live earlier this morning, and as you may have noticed, that live has now been taken down. So it was regarding our good friend RV. So I had the pleasure of being able to reach out to him, give him my number, and he called me, and we were able to clear the air. So everyone, he is here right now. So welcome RV to the resistance headquarters.
Thanks, King Nico. I appreciate that. And definitely, we did have the conversation, like you said. I just want to go into a little bit, not take too much time explaining it, regarding the footage of Witsit and the whole walking out of that little hut and entering the scene. It was obviously puffing on a vape, and there's a bit of confusion about him hunching over. And obviously, King Nico's been covering it all, exposing it all. And there's one particular clip which was bunched kind of together, that someone such as Eric Dubay and, of course, Flat Out Truth have put it out there where it's not completely concise and clear of what's taking place. And it's just a miscommunication, and me being a little bit of a hothead. This is not the time to for real flat earthers to be fighting over such things. We need to go after the fake flat earthers. And King Nico and I, we obviously buried the hatchet, and we're all good. We talked on the phone for a bit before going live, but King Nico's working hard, putting out the information, putting out stuff first, breaking stuff that no one else has put out first. So all credit is due to King Nico for that, and that should be worried. Myself, doing this for so long, I've seen a lot of people come and go, and I'm skeptical because there's so many damn shows out there. But King Nico's been putting out the work, and I just think there's a misunderstanding, like I said, and we cleared the air. We're all good, and moving forward, we need to focus on the fake flat earthers, who I call sky earthers, looking up at the sky to determine what's underneath our feet. So we're all good now, and I'm very happy. I don't want to say this. I told this to King Nico before we went live. All good and bad things lead to the good. So what happened was unfortunate, but we're speaking now. We're on speaking terms. We got each other's phone number. We're on talking terms, and we're all good moving forward. And this is what needs to be done: exposing the liars, the fake flat earthers, Jaron, Witsit, of course, David Weiss, and the whole gang of liars that need to be exposed. And I told also King Nico this before we went live: is this is actually a good thing, a positive thing, as far as the final experiment. It's separating the real flat earthers from the fake ones, and that's this is the breakaway and who's who in the flat earth community. Thanks again, brother, for having me on.
No, honestly, I've respected you for a long time. You have been doing this longer than anyone that I've known. You're one of the OGs, RV. So yeah, it was honestly it was amazing to have you and your support a week ago, but then obviously there was a misunderstanding. And again, you proved yourself that you really are here for the truth. You're a real man, because it's people don't really call and speak to each other these days and can sort things out by just talking to each other. But we were able to do that and agree that, you know, we're both hot heads in this. We're both very passionate about the truth and sharing it. And you know, we kind of clashed a bit there for a second, but it's already been worked out, and we're gonna continue to push forward and expose the real demons. And right now, TFE is on the chopping block and under the microscope.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is again the important time in truth right now, because like I posted my last video for my live stream back in June, showing the 10-year plan with what I'm going to be careful the way I phrase it. What happened in New York, it was on YouTube. It was on from 2005 2015, 10 years, and it's not a chance or by coincidence from 2015 and the drop off with the fake flat earthers in 2025. It is not by chance. Everything's been mapped out. Everything's happening exactly the way they planned it. But we have to expose them, of course, and that gets into what's next, what's on the plate next, and we can get into the fake alien invasion. That's definitely one of the cards coming up. Also, the asteroids. Those are the last two cards, the final cards, bringing in the Antichrist. And yeah, not to go on too long, but I'm just glad we're going live right now. I got guests. You got your own people. I got people from my channel. I sent a link on my community page just to bring my people over here as well. So as a team working together, we got this all sorted out. Also, I want to mention too, people on my side say, hey, people I've known for a long time, like Carl, he's in the chat right now saying, hey, let's work this out. People I've known, you got to calm down here, RV. You're a bit of a hothead. You got to get this worked out, and that's exactly what we're doing here. And I'm grateful to be on your channel right now.
Yeah, I had the same from my people too. They were like, you know what, RV's a good guy. You guys need to work it out. And I was like, yeah, I'm willing to. I've always liked you and respected your work over the years. So, yeah, it's amazing. So I hope everyone can see from both sides that yeah, we can admit where something might not add up, and we can jump to things, but once we talk it out properly, we can sort anything out. And we do have the same mission, which is to clear this movement, whether it's the flat earth movement or the whole truth community on a whole, of all these shills and operatives and disinfo agents. So it's glad that we were able to figure that out really quick, because us going at each other was not a good thing, and was definitely hurting the truth that we have to share, and it's very valuable stuff that we both deliver. So again, thank you for coming on and sharing this and taking down the video. I've taken down mine, so we don't care about that. It's in the past now, and we're focusing and moving forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely took my video down and made an apology to King Nico regarding the misunderstanding. So as in the past, and also too, we sorted out things like with fake Jake, and he understands that was a mistake. And we all make mistakes. We're human, we're passionate, and it's being passionate. It's a double-edged sword where there's the good and the bad of it. So, but we're very, very similar in our conversation. We're very, very similar about truth, pushing it out there. And, like I said, it's transparent how we are. What we think is what we say, and we don't hold back. And that's the only way I know. And I know King Nico, that's the way you present as well. So, like I said, I'm grateful this point in time that we could team up and expose the liars and shills that are clearly anti-God, anti-Bible. And I want to mention one thing. I don't want to jump the gun per se with Whitsitt, but I have to put this out there before I forget. With him swearing on the Bible that he went to Antarctica, what does the Bible say? If you've seen the stream, he did a live stream, with his hand on the Bible, claiming that, swearing on the Bible that he went to Antarctica. Well, what does the Bible
play it
say
for you right now? I'm going to play it quickly for you, RV.
Sure. Yeah, I see it. I don't hear him.
You don't hear him?
No, his audio's not coming in.
Yeah, so he's there swearing on the Bible, swearing, like you said, he's swearing that he went to Antarctica. Jaren went to Antarctica. He didn't lie about anything. So that's the clip of him doing that right there. We have a chat quickly. Someone's asking a question. It's a super chat from Kyra Gerber. Thank you, Kyra. Sends $5 Canadian. Says, I am wondering how both of you are feeling about Joseph Hanvey. He was praising Whitsitt and our Lord, and also believes Jaren and the rest. You want to answer that one?
Yeah, Joseph Hanvey, he's being heavily promoted by the fake flat earthers. That tells me he's not to be trusted. When he's heavily promoted by Jaren and Whitsitt in the gang, and no, I'm not buying what he's selling. He's just the controlled part of the aspect of it, and so he's not to be trusted. But getting back to Whitsitt and swearing on the Bible, it says in James 5:12 about not taking any oath of any kind, and him swearing on the Bible is just like in the military and in the courtrooms, they all take swear, take an oath, and all that stuff. Just say yes or no, so you're not condemned. So definitely that's not what you should be doing. So that's basically mocking the Bible when he's doing that, in my estimation.
But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea, and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. So thank you
Yes.
for that. That's a great verse, RV.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And that's and a lot of people that are not well versed, they're not going to know that. They're gonna, oh, he must be telling the truth because he's swearing the Bible. So that says a lot about him. And these people, this is the thing is, and I don't want to frame. I got to be careful the way I frame this. But in society, from the very top, they're the so-called enlightened ones, and they have all the quote knowledge and all the power, and they get off on deceiving quote dumb people. And I don't want to say the word dumb. That's maybe the wrong area. People that are ignorant of things, and they like it's like this analogy of when you go to school and you. I don't want to say this, but they used to put that "kick me" sign on the back of the kids, and they mock like the kid they think is dumb. And they put that sign "kick me" in their back, and they kick them. You know, they're mocking those that are quote weaker, quote less intelligent, and those are not in the know. That's what the elite do. They love to, and these kind of people that are in the know on the inside, they love to mock their followers. And these people, they don't care. They're getting paid. They don't care about anybody about other than getting paid. They don't care if they look foolish. David Weiss going on CNN says he doesn't want to be a flat earther who wants to look like an idiot. Why do you care about what non-truthers, non-researchers think, David Weiss? So, but the whole thing is literally he's mocking those that don't understand the Bible, that you're not supposed to take an oath of any kind or swear. Same thing. Basically, that's what it comes down to with what Widget was doing there. It's just mockery, basically.
A lot of mockery, a lot of Masonic rituals taking place. We have Jaren. People are realizing Jaren just posted 5 hours of GoPro footage from Antarctica, or this psyop that took place. And if you notice, he's still at 666 videos. So he deleted another video just to post this video. So it seems every video that's getting posted is going to register as video number 666. So I don't know what Jaren is playing at there.
Well, we know this, King Nico. We know that Jaren basically, said some very blasphemy things about Jesus Christ, and he's praised Crowley. So it tells you that's all we need to know about Jaren's foundation. Praising Aleister Crowley while saying very horrible things about Jesus Christ. So the 666 with Jaren, and also the name Jaren Campanella. Campanella like means little bell. Well, Bel or Baal means Lord, so it's kind of like the planned names with Campanella, and a trained Jesuit admitted. Even David Weiss, even he puts it out there. He's basically a trained Jesuit, so this is no secret as far as Jaren also getting. He always tells me that 33 doesn't mean anything. The numbers don't mean anything. But then he got married on 11/11 and prayed
Right.
around. Yeah, on the limo at the wedding. He had it all posted online. 11/11, and yeah, so numbers don't mean anything, but the 11/11, that's the date he selected to get married. So not to get into the personal aspect of things, but the bottom line is, more importantly, is moving forward. Jaren has stated this on his previous quote live stream, where he said he's not going to be around much longer. He's going to be gone because of quote flat earthers, the way they're acting, the way they're responding. Well, we have to hold Jaren to that. Why doesn't he pack his bags and leave? He's still around. He's not going anywhere, in my estimation. I don't think he's leaving. He has to put more disinfo out there. And to be honest, after a certain point, we have to ignore these people. We have to ignore the Globers and not enter into debates with them on their platforms. It's keeping them alive. It's getting them super chats. So, for example, if one of us, I did it before too. I'm guilty of it. I went to their platforms, and they're like racking the dough with all these super chats. They're racking the dough, and us going to their channels, their platforms, we are helping them. And why should we spend the time to debate liars? They are not. This is not an honest debate. We're dealing with liars and disinfo agents. So why would we even waste our time speaking with them? Well, they'll never concede. They will never concede. That's their job, to lie. So that's why I refuse to do any of these online debates with any of these globers, glober shills. They all have backgrounds. We know, either military, CIA. There's something going on with the, like I said, with Jaron, a trained Jesuit. So yeah,
They,
we
they
should not
they
engage with them.
they seem like they've been trained by NASA, and they're trained by Hollywood for sure, because they all have IMDb pages, which only actors and actresses have. And if you look at, so I got something to show here. This is Elon Musk's Tesla Roadster. Do you remember when SpaceX and Tesla launched this Roadster into space?
Starman, yeah.
Do you remember what he said about it? Let's play this. I don't think you're gonna hear it, but he said, hey, wait, give me a second. I know how
Sure,
to get
sure.
the sound back.
See your roadster up there with Starman, just cruising along with the blue planet. And how long will we be getting live views, do you think, from the car?
Well, I think it looks so ridiculous and impossible. And you can tell it's real because it looks so fake, honestly.
So there he is saying you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. So I'm going to go to Witsit's channel quickly, because I showed you before, the title of his live, where at the 33rd minute Vapegate happens, it's titled One Small Step for Man, One Giant Leap for Flat Earth, which we know comes from the Apollo moon landings.
Yes.
So look at the title of his new videos. You can tell it's fake because it looks so real. So again, using NASA's slogans from Neil Armstrong, and now using Elon Musk's slogan for SpaceX. You can tell it's fake because it looks so real. So is this like them putting in this coded language to let you know that it is a part of the same scam?
Exactly. They're just mocking these. They're mocking the unfortunate thing. The fortunate thing is a lot of people have super chatted these individuals, and they're invested in them. And once someone believes a lie, it's hard to unbelieve a lie, and hard to detach themselves from these fakers. But the good thing is there's a good amount of people that are doing that. But the difference between NASA and these fake flat earthers is even the NASA fakers do a better job of acting than these clowns. Jaron and Witz are so transparent. David Weiss defending them. They are all very, very transparent liars and deceivers, for those that have eyes to see. But one thing, King Nico, I want to mention real quick about you brought up the Starman with Elon Musk. We have to go back in time to that movie Heavy Metal back in the early 80s. That was predictive programming for what Elon Musk done. Because if you watch the beginning of Heavy Metal, there's that car flying in front of the moon, flying in so-called space in front of the moon. If you want to just Google Heavy Metal opening, and just be careful as far as any copyright, because if you play it too long, then you'll. But if you play the opening for that Heavy Metal, you're going to see the car flying through space. It's based literally predictive programming, like I said. If you can play that, and also too, I want to mention, as you're looking for that to get the video prep, we know that Elon Musk is mentioned in Werner von Braun's book before NASA was informed, as in his book Project Mars. Yeah, and there you go right there, as the man that's going to lead the expedition to Mars. But here we go right here. This is where you're going to see the flying car in space, just like, of course, what Elon Musk did with his Tesla Roadster. And there's the car. And there's their predictive programming taking place. And
Oh, wow, it is. Yeah. And there's the spaceman in the car in the suit. There it is. There.
Yeah, there's your predictive programming. Yep, there you go right there.
Good call on that one.
Yeah, they've been doing this forever as far as predictive programming. I did the same. I showed the same thing with Elon Musk and this one old Russian movie where it's basically identical with the reverse landings. Everything was just, they're just telling what's going to happen before it happens. So this is a common theme. They must tell us everything. Their game plan to plant that seed in our minds.
So I want everyone to look into something. Mr. Beast, probably the #1 YouTuber in the world. So I got an email. Let me share the email quickly. They did give me permission to share it. So thank you, Ben. Can you guys see it? So Ben sent me this earlier. He says, check out the reviews for the company that owns Union Glacier Camp. They also own the plane that Duffy used, all the buildings they stayed in, and the equipment, Antarctica Linguistics and Expeditions. So this company is supposed to be the owner of the only private camp on Antarctica and has been operating since the 80s and literally only has 5 reviews. So the last one was a year ago and not a single person reviewed it recently. And this is the same company that recently took Mr. Beast to Antarctica also. So I was like, whoa,
Wow.
Mr. Beast, that's a big name. So he's got 220 million views alone. So that eclipses the amount of people that saw this psyop that was the final experiment. But after watching just a few clips of this and seeing some other debunkings of this on the internet, there's it's definitely a worth looking into, because his trip, and this was posted exactly 2 years ago and also in December. So yeah, very
Good find.
very
good
very
find.
very suspicious activity. So, and
Yeah,
you already know YouTube was also involved because, you know, Jared and Whitsitt have the YouTube and Netflix connections too. So the same with Mr. Beast, and the fact that he went on this trip. Like, let me just skim through some of the footage here, and it's night and day to the footage that we've seen from TFE. Like, these guys actually have snow in their videos, and actually gives the impression of the Antarctica that we were taught to believe that Antarctica was, not what was shown from TFE. So again, huge YouTuber, Mr. Beast. There's his 341 million. So this was, again, could have been practice and a pre-setup for the TFE experiment to supposedly go in and destroy flat Earth. So here we are. So if anyone wants to look at some more Antarctica footage and compare with TFE, I suggest go to Mr. Beast. And 2 years ago, he went on the same trip to Antarctica, and everything is completely different. The weather. So go check for yourselves, and let's see what we can find in comparison to what TFE has shown us.
Yeah, that's good. That's great info there, King Nico. Also, too, a lot of credit to Banjo. He pointed out how that quote Brazilian flat Earth there with many viewers. I forgot. I don't want to throw a number out. I forgot how many, but they basically planned the same thing with the Antarctica trip a year prior and all these things. So they're basically doing the same psyop, with Brazil. I mean, the most flat earthers in the world, I believe, the country with the most flat earthers is Brazil. And of course, he flipped before Jaron. So that's a huge praise goes to Flat Earth Banjo for pointing that out.
Yeah.
As far as the biggest channel in on YouTube in Brazil flipping before Jaron flips. So that needs to be noted as well.
Yeah, we've got a lot of love from Brazil here on the channel, thanks to Flat Earth Manjo. So we appreciate him. I think he said he was going to go live today, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, he always does good work, and Banjo's a real guy, real dude, and he obviously turned me on to your channel and your work, and like I said, we got everything sorted out, but your work, I was looking at everything, it's impeccable. You're the first one to break a lot of the stuff. I mean, basically everything. You deserve a lot of credit for that, as far as the footprints, the vape gate, everything comes from you that everybody's taken from you basically and has reposted in different ways. So you deserve a lot of credit. And for anybody joining in late, and seeing us talk, what's going on here? Why is RV speaking with King Nico? We worked it all out. We sorted it all out behind the scenes, and we had a talk, and and we apologize and all that. We're all past that. But the main thing is we need to not fight each other. We need to fight the real enemy, and that's the ones behind and those that participated in the final experiment, which is an absolute hoax. If you saw my last video on my channel, I pointed out how Will Duffy's doing the Masonic hand signs, the one-eye symbolism, just like Jaron. They're all on the same team, all in the same boat. So it's very clear. But we must not fragment real truthers that are exposing this. The people that are exposing this, we should not be infighting at all. And that's on me. And I take responsibility for that, King Nico. So
Wow. Honestly, RV, just stop. Everyone needs to honestly give it up to you, because I've had a lot of people say some things about me that I've had to push to the side, like calling you a shill also, and this, that. But what you're doing now and stepping up, and like this is all I wanted. Like you've done more than enough to show that, yeah, this is great stuff, and I admire that a lot. It's very inspiring. So thank you.
No, it's well deserved because this. Nothing's more frustrating when you're working hard to expose the liars and you're being called a shill or disinfo, whatever. And that's very frustrating. I don't blame you if you're legit not to like someone getting punched, you got to punch back. You are like me in that way, and you have to stand up for yourself, and you did that. And if you didn't do that, nothing would happen. We wouldn't be talking right now. So
Exactly.
so that's why, like
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to say it again. All good and bad things lead to the good. In the
Yeah.
end, and that's what I really want to emphasize. And I'm really glad we're doing this live stream tonight. Obviously not planned, just kind of like last minute. As far as my side, I knew you planned it. As far as me joining in and exposing the figures, but we do not need to fragment the real truth seekers, the real truthers in flat Earth, exposing the liars. We don't need to do this. So that's definitely why I'm here, and I thank you for having me on your platform.
Yeah. So what we're doing here, like we're displaying how it should be done, honestly. And I guess, you have a massive following. Your YouTube count doesn't represent actually how big your following is, because you've also had many channels deleted. I was following you when you had like 250,000 at a point, or so, in the hundreds of thousands, right? So um I appreciate, like, I've never, like, it's not like you to, like, when you expose someone, you expose them and you don't make mistakes. So again, the fact that I fell in your line of sight and we were able to fix it goes to show that there's some serious business going on, and that we do need strong warriors like ourselves that are passionate in our Lord Jesus and the Holy Bible, and to make sure we help share and prepare people for what's happening in this world, because there's going to be a lot of crazy things happening with all the new technology. We've seen what they've been able to do with these psyops and fake 24-hour suns to disprove maps and biblical cosmology. So the Bible does say that in the end times, these false prophets, they will rise, and very well they will shew great signs and wonders that they could deceive the very elect.
Yes, absolutely. That's what's happened. And we need to even take a step further back when, like I said, I've been doing videos on YouTube since 2008, 2009. And when I saw the gang of quote flat earthers show up, ODD TV, Jaron, Bob from Glowbusters, and I see ODD TV doing Masonic hand signs during interviews, and I saw Mark Sargent doing the same thing. He did a interview with what was her name? Orphan Red, and he was sitting on a chair doing Masonic hand signs. I saw that. I didn't say anything right away, but I saw all of that. I saw what was happening, but I didn't say anything immediately because I was one against so many. So I had to keep it down a little bit. But I see clearly what's going on. Patricia Steer, involved with the media. All these people have these backgrounds. So, I had to calculate everything I did. But like I said, the main thing is, like I said earlier, the fakes are being separated from the real ones. We know with the final experiment, so-called final experiment, I call it the final embarrassment, is separating the real flat earthers from the fake ones. And a lot of people, when I went after Jaron, Whitson, and Weiss, a lot of people jumped off my platform and they stuck with them. Now a tremendous amount of people are jumping back on, apologizing, and hey, that's what it's about. It's not about being right. It's about getting it right in the end. That's what it's all about.
And it was a complete embarrassment, but we have to thank them for even trying, because like you said, it has helped separate the wheat from the tares, if you might say, the chills from the true truthers, the ones that do put in the real work, not these agents that are just propped up and put in every place just to, be the gatekeeper, right? So I almost fell for it. I woke up to flat earth and I just did it by myself. And when I went online and tried to find a community, all the gatekeepers were right there in place, right? So
yeah, the thing is this, it's really difficult, with a lot of these individuals, because obviously we don't see their deposit in their bank account, so we have to just kind of eye it. But a bird of a feather flocks together, you know. And like I said, with Globebusters all teaming up, and they're not going to have someone from the outside come in. They're going to have their own band of stooges working together, tightly knit, woven together. But yeah, the truth always comes out in the end. Who's who, who's real, who's not, comes out in the end, and that's what it all comes down to. But yeah, we have to look at the big picture. You know, like I said earlier, you know, they need their fake globe to push their fake alien invasion. That's what they need. That's what's coming. And they thought that a lot of people would flip over to the globe, but a lot of flat earthers obviously are resisting. I see some remnants still trying to support Jaron and Whitsitt and all, but you know, in the end of the day, they know they've been deceived. But those individuals, they don't want to come out and say it because their ego can't allow that to happen, saying, I've been duped. I've been super chatting these people for years and years, and I have to come out. I have to admit I've been had. So the people that are really are embedded and planted and have been the most loyal supporters to them, they're the ones it's going to be the hardest time for them to detach from the fake flat earthers. I call them sky earthers, the ones that look up at the sky to determine what's what's below us, you know, the ground beneath our feet.
Yeah, exactly. So I do feel like I've warned everyone to keep a lookout, that part of this operation was to destroy biblical cosmology, the AE map, which falls in line with biblical cosmology and is also scientifically, practically correct as it is. So they want to tear that down and they want to push back the globe Earth, but they know that many might not want to go back there because that's already been somewhat disproven. So they're going to open the doors to the extra land theory, which I've shown you, where land beyond the ice wall. So another ridiculous extra space theory. So if you're going to, you know, if you're going to believe in extra land beyond Antarctica, then you might as well just believe in the Milky Way and go into other galaxies, right? So
I think, King Nico, I think what it comes down to is liars don't need to be believed. They just want to insert confusion and having the state where you don't know what is truth. That's the main goal. That's their main purpose. They're hoping people do believe their lies, but they want to have people to say, like, maybe it is a globe, and if there's an alien invasion, Jaron was right. You know, that type of thing. They want to insert confusion. But the main thing is they're doing it now, and I'm looking very closely in the future, something happening. There's a lot of things happening, like future shock. People don't know what to think. A lot of people, but we knew these people were frauds and shills for the longest time. But the main thing is people are trying to process all this. They don't know, you know, some people are on the fence. There's obviously people that knew they were shills for the longest time, but there's a lot of subscribers, you know, over 100 subscribers on Jaron's channel. They don't know what to believe and their heads are spinning. But the main thing is I really want to emphasize, they want you to be in the state of not knowing what is true and what's not, the state of confusion. Like the song by Genesis, this is a land of confusion. That's what they want.
that's exactly what they did. And they did successfully put a lot of confusion into the minds of long-time believing flat earthers, maybe people that were looking into it. They just said, forget it now. You know what I mean? So they put that confusion there. But because we were so quick to give them that challenge and be like, no, what you're doing is fake, we can prove it, people were like, whoa, okay. So a lot of people messaged me and said, honestly, I was almost like really turned off from the flat earth, but after seeing your debunk and the videos exposing the many different gates now, it says, whoa, we've really displayed that there is an evil at work here that is messing with the truth. And quickly, Kyra Gerber again with another super chat says, I feel so blessed to have understood all of this. So thanks to y'all. So those who are reborn, praise Jesus. I was always so confused by the extra land because it's not biblical. And she says, so true, RV. So thank you. Thank you, Kyra.
Kyra, thanks for that. I appreciate that very, very much. And yeah, they want to disenfranchise people, make people like disillusioned, I should say, and just like not know what to think and drop off the map. No pun intended, as far as flat earth is concerned, and just be like, you know, we've been at this for so long and now this is quote been debunked and I don't know what to think, and just a lot of people fall to the wayside. But we can't. The people that know and can see, and I said this before, King Nico, is God gives people, you know, eyes to see. The people that are not right with God, they're not going to see this. If you're not right with God, you're not going to have clear eyes. You're not going to have the vision to see through all this. There's a lot of people on Jaron's side of things that don't have discernment. They can, quote, make maps and do all these math equations, but they lack the God-given discernment. It's a gift from God. Discernment is a gift from God. It's not something you could teach someone. And that's what I really want to emphasize,
Yeah,
as far as the what's happening in this world. And that's why so many are deceived. They don't have that discernment.
that's what's hard to explain to some people when they're like, oh, where's your proof? Where's your evidence? And it's like, if you have eyes to see, you will see. You know what I mean? Uh, it's just that discernment. You just can feel it and see it, not with your eyes, but with everything that is there. So it's again, it's hard to explain, but I understand. And it pretty much all just points to discernment. And once you submit to Jesus and trust in the Bible, you'll be able to just know and see certain things for what it is without having to question and go through the ringer and be deceived for such and such time, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it's really hard to articulate it and put into words, but we know it's fake. It's like we know something's real, we know it's fake, but to articulate it is not so easy. And the thing is this, I've been on this journey for a long time, and when you try to explain, say, fakery or the flat earth truth, you're not gonna you can't explain in 1 hour. People go on Facebook or Twitter and try to explain like a hoax or explain the flat earth truth. You're not going to do it in 1 hour. These people have been programmed 30, 40, 50 years. You're not going to break that. It's like, I always say this, the mind is like clay. And after a certain age, it hardens up and it can't be reshaped. Unfortunately, the only person that can do it is through God. That can be reshaped. That hardened clay, which is in the mind, can be reshaped only through God, through prayer, people that are true believers. Otherwise, I don't believe it's like handing over a football where the truth can just be passed over that easy. I think we get frustrated with people that don't see the truth, but God's like, no, this person's not right with me. They're not intended to see this. So that sometimes we need to walk away and understand that as well. But for the people that are believers, we can't give up on them. The people that are Satanists and deceivers, and there's they know they have no hope. That's what I think about this so-called elite. People say, why would they do all this deception and lying and all this stuff? Because they know they have no chance to reach the gates of heaven. They know what their destiny. They're trying to bring as many people with them as possible, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it all goes back to them spreading confusion, and that's where we come in to help make sense of everything and deconfuse the situations and because once people get confused, they just tune out, right? And then just choose to believe the lie that is there waiting for them, and that's the plan, right? So some more comments here, but everything that we're doing, again, we're exposing this. And if you have any other, like, anyone has any suggestions for what's next, for they've obviously, there's been more than enough time gone by now for any footage to come out. They're releasing like a video a week now, and it's like, whoa, that it's way past that time of being able to accept anything to be passed as truth with today's editing. And they even keep telling you it's a story, it's a documentary, it's going to be edited with fancy cuts and music, and that's not what anyone in this community wants. When all we want is truth of the matter, not a friggin' Netflix documentary.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I pointed out to people. I'm going to be repetitive about this, about the whole behind the curve scene with Jaron, and not practicing or doing that experiment before having it filmed. That makes absolutely no sense. If you're the quote top flat earther researcher, you're not going to do that experiment before it's filmed for the Netflix documentary. That makes no sense whatsoever. And the interesting comment, it's obviously, but here's the thing is, what I always explain to people is this: they do that for the populace, but they come back, they grovel back to their channels and make excuses, and their very naive followers, gullible followers, believe their excuses. Oh, they edit, they cut it out. This, they make excuses, and their gullible followers believe them. That's the unfortunate thing, and that's really the sad case with this all is it's easy to fool people. It's hard to convince them that they're being fooled. That's what it comes down to, the people that follow these disinfo agents.
Exactly right. So again, all the pressure we've put on has been able to reveal more than everything that we've wanted. We've got confessions, we've got lies upon more lies, we've got complete denial from these characters. We've got taken oaths on Bibles. We've got bringing their kids into it, saying, "Oh, I wouldn't have put my daughter in this like they're pulling every card they can to get some kind of sympathy, to generate some kind of emotion, and compassion for them. It's just, if they were not lying about this, they would not need to do all that, because their footage would speak for itself. So the fact that they're
Yeah.
going around addressing everything, panicking, they're in scramble, damage control mode, they're bringing all their family members into it now, and it's looking very desperate. So
Yeah,
again,
to me, yeah. Go. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
yeah, again, I just want to think, how do you see this is gonna to come out? Like, obviously, they're not gonna confess to anything. They're gonna stand by the lies. They're gonna call everyone else liars in the community, and just like, they're just going to go through the motions. So if that's the case, I feel like we just definitely keep the pressure on, because there's no way, whatever conscience they have left in them, it's going to torment them and eat them out, knowing that every time they look at their phone or the internet, someone's going to be sending #Baitgate to them. You know what I mean? So it can't be pleasant for what they choose to do, and however stuck they are. I wish there would be a way that they could just own up and free themselves for it, but clearly it doesn't seem that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sure they signed some contract behind the scenes of obviously they can't go off script or anything like that. But the thing is this, they're getting paid handsomely, I'm sure, behind the scenes, and they basically don't give a damn. They don't give a damn what anybody thinks or says. When their bank account is filled up with a lot of money, they did their job and they're getting paid handsomely. So they have no conscience, they have no soul when it comes to deceiving. They've been deceiving people for years. I mean, Jaron has been around since 2015 or 16. He's been deceiving people from the start, so he has no conscience as far as that's concerned. Whitsitt arrived about 2018, and basically he's Jaron Jr. I always call him Whitsitt doesn't get it. But yeah, they're all in the same boat, the same team, calling fake events real. That's why I always say about Jaron, Jaron's fake because he calls everything real. That's Jaron, and I don't want to get in the events, but that's basically what he does. Just muddying the waters and basically a piece of garbage. That's saying it nicely as far as they're concerned. But yeah, as far as their conscience, these people don't even have a conscience. All they care about is getting paid and getting the spotlight and being on a TV and on all that nonsense. It's amazing to me. These people showed up in the beginning, basically came out of nowhere. They're like a network from the start, and they're showing up on ABC News. All these documentaries. I'm like, what's going on? People just showed up and they're being spotlighted. Yeah, that's the controlled op, 100%, without a shadow of a doubt. And they always done that for every, they did it with the New York event. I'm not going to say the event, but we know when we talk about New York, they had all their actors, all the big names that you see spotlighted. They're the ones obviously on the payroll as well. All of them.
So that's what we're going to continue to do. Now we have allies amongst each other. We can, help, go over things together, and it's going to be amazing. So this year is going to be a big year for truth as the lies get deeper and more heavier, right? So it's just balance. It's just balance in the world. If evil rises, good will rise to challenge it. It's just the equal and opposite, right? There's no way that evil is going to rise and just have no equal and opposite challenge. So good will always be there. The light will always be there to shine on the darkness, right? So
absolutely, brother, absolutely. One thing I want to throw in, King Nico, as well as this, there's many facets of is not just based on flat earth, anything just like you. And that's one thing we have in common as well, not just a flat earth based channel. It's a whole world. And we have to,
so yeah,
we have to look at the big picture and definitely I'll break it up. How about now?
Yeah.
You hear me now, fine?
Just give it a second.
Yeah, and so what I was saying is good. I'm sorry, I'm talking over you. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm good now. Okay, so what I was saying is, we have to look at the big picture. They already have the euro. They're going to eventually have the Amero and have a combined currency. So we have to look at all these aspects where basically where it says in the Bible as well, people are looking at gold and silver as like they're out of currency. No, they're going to control. They control everything. It even says in the Bible how they'll throw their gold in the street and silver will be worthless. This is from the Bible, so they're controlling everything. And also, too, I should mention this as well. That's a big red flag with Jaron and David Weiss. They were constantly pushing cryptocurrency. Of course, the CC for 33, that's the cashless society. They were heavily promoting that, heavily pushing that, and those are huge red flags that they're promoting. That's obviously, many facets of what they're promoting. And like you said, King Nico, they're, specifically when it comes to David Weiss promoting other lands, when the Bible says many times how there's ends of the earth. So they're always giving you that partial truth. That's one thing about liars. The best liars speak a lot of truth, and we have to be very, like it says in the Bible, innocent as doves and wise as serpents.
So that's what I've been doing, not just within the flat earth movement, but within movements here in Canada is and it's easy for me because when you're true with the Bible and you use that as everything, and you find out other people and their agendas, and all you have to do is ask them about Jesus and the Bible. And if they pretty much blaspheme it, you pretty much know that they're on a side and they're doing Babylon work, right? They're working for Babylon, the Babylonian, and they go against it. So the same with like David Weiss and all these people, it's so easy. It's like, how can you trust someone that blasphemes God, Jesus, and then instantly hails Satan the next sentence, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's an interview that David Weiss had with Stu Peters, and he says, if you're a flat earther, you don't need the Bible. He said that, and I showed that clip before. So that's a lot of these bigger channels. They deny Christ, they deny God or the Bible. And, obviously the flat earth is important, but the most important truth is Jesus Christ. But flat earth leads to the creator. Obviously it's not just the flat earth itself, it's the firmament. The firmament just cannot happen by itself. And that's a big aspect that people lose sight of, is mentioning God's created firmament, because you can say it's flat or level, but you cannot leave out the firmament, because that's cannot just happen from a big bang explosion.
Yeah,
obviously.
you don't remove the firmament. And that's what these guys like to do. They like to create theories using their freaking science to come up with things that, remove the firmament. They add extra suns, so they contradict the Bible, and that's their main thing, is to contradict the word of God and create their own thing. So if there was extra land, it would need a sun too, right? Even though Genesis speaks of just two great luminaries, the great one to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. So God doesn't mention extra lands, extra suns, extra people, none of that. And it's pretty solid that there's a firm dome, firmament or rakia, so all the terminologies are there that state it's a solid expanse in the skies that the sun and the stars and the moons remain in.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we have, that's been mentioned many times, but it's really important to mention is, of course, we have pressure. We have pressure within the system. You can't have a vacuum next to a non-vacuum. It's impossible. It's like having a hairspray bottle. You need that pressurized system to hold the hairspray, the spray in there. Without that, you're not going to have that pressure. So it doesn't make sense. There's so many aspects. But one thing I want to really mention that's really important, I mentioned on my channel, King Nico, is this. The aspect when it comes to Freemasonry and duality. People call them liars. They are liars, but they have to give us truth. So when you see people like Michio Kaku do presentations and say things like this in front of many, many people, that there is no gravity, we lied to you. They have to do this in some form, but they don't really do it in the big platforms. But I have that clip of saying there is no gravity, we lied to you. So that's the duality aspect, with truth and lies mixed together. But it's the yin and the yang. It's the 99% lies and the 1% truth. Because if they didn't do that, they're no longer working off the foundation of what they are, Freemasons and duality. So I really want to emphasize that with people. They need to understand. That's why you see in music videos or movies, they put the truth out. They put it in, it's not credible when they talk about the flat earth truth in movies or a music song. Like even that one band from the 80s, Toto, that one song, 21st Century Blues. How can we believe the earth is round? I just can't believe it. I just can't conceive it. It's like, It's not just a song. They didn't write it. They have people out there putting the truth out there in the lyrics, and they have to do that. They have to put the truth out there. That's just like I said. It's based on Freemason duality, the yin yang, truth and lies, hot cold, and that's just how they work. And it's beyond the human mind of how these people operate. And a lot of people just say they're liars, they're liars, they're liars. They are liars.
So let me ask you something. So speaking of Freemasonry, because I've been trying to expose them for many years now, and people keep saying the same things, like, "Oh, you're wasting your time. The Freemasons aren't evil. It's just a club of guys that do this and give money to charity." And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. When there's a lodge in every single town and city worldwide, every nation. So it's like, how serious do you think they are, or not so serious are the Freemasons?
Yeah, what people don't understand is this: there's two levels. There's the ones that are behind the scenes, and the Freemasons at the local lodge, even at the lower level, they don't know. They're deceived. Even Albert Pike said in his writings that it's the truth is kept from the uninitiated. That basically the lower level Masons are deceived, but the higher level Masons within those lodges, they know this is where your judges come from. Your police force, your captain, the chief of the police, your police station, they come from the lodges. But the lower level ones, they don't know this. That's why there's different levels of Freemasons, different levels of knowledge. And when you hit the 33, that's when you know Lucifer is, quote, their God. That's why people don't understand too about Freemasonry is you can't be an atheist to become a Mason. You must believe in a deity. So what they want to do is they don't care what deity, if it's Allah, Buddha, whatever, as long as you believe in some type of a creator, then they transition you from whatever deity you believe in into Lucifer down the line. So there's a deception within deception. But the really important aspect to understand is these local lodges at the lower level, they don't know what's going on. They're just guys gathering together, drinking beers and having lunches together. But at the head of the lodges, they know. And this is why they have these lodges. So they have a psyop. They have people within the local lodges that are participating. That's why you see in these psyops over the years, the guy wearing the Masonic hat or Masonic shirt or Masonic necklace. These are coming out of the local lodges. But I have to really emphasize there's different levels of knowledge within Masonry itself.
So you know that Antarctica has a lodge, right? So
Yes.
why would the most desolate place on Earth, Antarctica, that has the Antarctic Treaty, why does it have a lodge? And do you know what lodge number that is? 777.
Yeah, that's order to chaos in gematria.
Yes, in gematria, order out of chaos. That's exactly
chaos.
where I was going with that. So quickly, before I bring up that gematria and lodge number 777 in Antarctica, Brother Sanchez TV has super chatted $5 and says TFE, the futile exercise, and it only separated the real from the fake. So thank you, brother, for that. And that's exactly what TFE is. And that's a good saying for it, the futile exercise.
Or the final embarrassment. But one thing about the lodge as well, it's good to see Bro Sanchez in there. We haven't always seen eye to eye on certain things. He caught me on a few things on the trans thing, but that's okay. We're all good in there, Bro Sanchez. No worries, brother. We're all good. And as far as Antarctica, the lodge, it was called the Order of the Penguin. Penguin's 33 numerology.
Wow.
So that's like the penguins on the plane as well on the flight, the so-called flight that they took supposedly. And but yeah, Penguin is there's a lot of things hidden in plain sight. When you enter Walgreens is 33 numerology. They have the witches the pot, what do you call that? I forgot the name of that thing. The whatever it's called, the cauldron. They have that cauldron with the stick in there when you enter Walgreens. But Walgreens is 33, just like J.C. Penney. J.C. Penney's James Cash Penney. J.C. Penney's 33. So when you walk in Walgreens or J.C. Penney, the public sees the name. The Masons see the 33 when they enter Walgreens or they enter J.C. Penney, and these other stuff like Hooters as well, where the girls were all orange and the owl symbolism. So there's a lot of things hidden in plain sight that the people that don't understand symbolism, they'll never get it. I've covered in past psyops where they code the license plates with the number 33. They've done this consistently over the years, and I made a video on that, coded license plates with many of these psyops. with the license plates being 33 numerology.
Yeah.
You know, so for example, really quickly, not to deviate too far off the flatter topic, was that Dylan Roof and the whole thing with South Carolina. He was indicted for 33 counts. There's a photo of him in a police station with a license plate behind him is 33 numerology. It's all coded. You know, it's just very few can understand this. When I first started making videos years ago and I mentioned the 33 and the numbers, everybody kind of mocked at it. It doesn't mean anything. But in time, people have captured and understand these are very important. It might not be important to the people watching and listening, but it's important to them. So just because a viewer doesn't care about that, I'm going to stop there because I see you pointing out the order of chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, you see it there, right? So order
Yes.
out of chaos in the Latin cipher is 777. And you can see here that Antarctica does have a Masonic lodge, and it's the Penguin Lodge, and it was founded by Admiral Richard Evelyn Byrd, lodge number 777. So obviously these Masons, the Freemasons on Ice, the Disney project, they went over there and they most likely did visit Antarctic Lodge number 777.
One thing I have to throw in there, really important, is Bill Cooper. And as far as so-called truth speaker, he was interviewed by CNN. He even admitted that he was part of the Masonic youth at a very early age. The Demolay Society, he was a Demolay. So he said in an interview with CNN that basically to become higher up in the military, admiral, whatever, you have to be part of the secret societies. So he even admitted that basically as far as his application. So we know Admiral Byrd was a Mason, and we obviously know with the Masonic Lodge. So he makes his truth with lies as far as, other lands, saying tropical rainforest beyond the ice wall, all that stuff. And a lot of people have to understand, these people that are propped up, he's interviewed on TV, does all these TV interviews. He's not going to be telling the truth. He's going to give you partial truth. And that's the important aspect. And they're just showing it right there. They're just showing right there, King Nico.
So as you can see, some of the names of these so-called extra lands fall in line with the Egyptian, the original Freemasons. You see Isis and the Aten and the Amun. So Odin, and I see some weird names here. So none of this makes sense. I do not resonate with any of this. This completely contradicts the word of God, and the word of God is perfect.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the disinfo shows. And I tell this to people involved with truth. Why would you listen to fairy tales that have no basis or no foundation of evidence? It's David Weiss keeps pushing other lands with zero evidence. It's ridiculous. It's just a story. But people get captured because the fantasy sometimes is better than reality. That's why people love this fantastical, what could be behind there, a three-headed monster, other unknown animals. So people get captured by this fairy tale aspect that David Weiss deep inside the rabbit hole pushes.
So here's some gematria. I see Joseph Acquaviva was sharing National Aeronautics and Space Administration does equal 666 in the most base and pure cipher, English ordinal. You put Disney NASA together also equals the same 666. And as you see there, Walt Disney there with Werner von Braun, who was brought over from Europe via Operation Paperclip. Yes. The fallen angels are also 666. Witchcraft, because that's what they are performing, is this witchcraft, 666. And then there's the Galactic Federation, which falls in line with this whole space nonsense. Again, is all 666.
King Nico, I got to jump in here, man. This is really important. I've covered Walt Disney many times over the years. So Disneyland is in Anaheim. Anaheim is 33 numerology. It's on the 33rd parallel. It's in Orange County, which is 33 as well. Walt Disney himself, Walt Disney's name, Walt Disney is 33 in numerology. Mickey in the mirror image is Wicked.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, too, really, it's in plain sight. This is going to be obvious when people hear this. Obviously, all these people go to Disneyland to see a mouse. It's a trap set for humans. Just like we set a trap for mice, we shouldn't. For mice, well, they're setting a trap for humans with a mouse. So it's duality with a mouse bringing people into their evil domain. Of course, Club 33 within Disneyland. and the city of angels, the city of fallen angels, is what it's all about with the stars in Hollywood. Hollywood's all about witchcraft, as we know, with the ancient druids making witches' wands, magic wands out of the holly tree. So, and of course, the fallen stars represent obviously from Revelation. And there you go. I'm gonna stop there and let you continue on, because you're showing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, no, you're speaking. Keep talking, because that's exactly what it is. The Hollywood from the oak, the tree is what they use to make their wands, and obviously Hollywood and how they broadcast. So I've shared this before, how the news is an anagram for north, east, west, and south, and that's how 4 witches get positioned at the 4 positions, and that's how they broadcast the spell. And that's what the news is, when they're broadcasting their daily nonsense to the masses that are there taking it in. And that's why news is called news, because it represents the north, east, west, and south directions on the compass.
And people, well, I want to get back to Disney, but on the topic of the news, it's funny how people buy TVs to get, literally, you're paying money to get brainwashed. There's no use for a TV besides programming and getting brainwashed. And people are spending lots and lots of money, dumping lots and lots of money in the best TV they can buy. But now they really want to lower the prices. Why? A lot of people are looking at YouTube videos. So they, and of course they're controlling that aspect, but they really want to lower the price. So people are glued to their TVs, and they're selling TVs very cheap at, say, Walmart, wherever. It's cheaper to buy a TV than even get it repaired. So they're so minuscule in price. But getting back to, I saw the numbers, even calculator in numerology is 33. There's so much. Internet. Wow. And also www in Hebrew is 666. There you go with calculator. And it's also 33. I believe it's in Pythagorean. There's so many things. And also Masonic is 33 numerology. There you go. Oh my goodness. Yep. You're showing it all. You got it down pretty good. And Masonic, and what do you got there? Yes. Yeah. There you go right there. And don't forget Corona itself as well. Yep. One thing I'll mention while you're typing this all out, when it comes to numerology and gematria, when it comes to something like, say, Chaldean, people use the word Chaldean all the time. But of course, the Chaldeans were worshipers of the stars. Stars are souls. Stars are the fallen ones that were thrown from heaven. So how it all coincides is pretty amazing. And also, I should mention, also astronaut is 33. In talking about the 666, I made a video about this one so-called female, Peggy Whitson, who spent 666 days in space, supposedly, Yeah.
Did you say 666 days in space?
Yeah.
No.
I think I made that video back in, it could be 2017, 18, or 19. I forgot which year, but I made so many videos over the years, I forgot exactly what year, but that's something I've covered. And they're really pushing, of course, the Transformers, because years ago, Albert Mackey, a very famous Freemason, in his writing, I think it's like 1580 or something, says basically the ultimate human is a mixture of a man and one into one divine being. So this has always been their goal for centuries, to combine the two. And of course, the ancient statues of the combine of the male and the female. Yeah, you're hitting it, man. You're hitting it out of the park with the gematria, with all the 666s and plans. And of course, Disney's logo. I showed that in front of the Disney store, where it's 666 as well. And yeah, you're showing the Wicked there with Mickey and Wicked, the duality aspect. But if you type in Disney store, you can see the 666 as well on the Disney store, on top of the fake phony globe. Let me see here. Which one is it? The one with the so-called planet in the center. I don't know. You got to scroll down more, I think, but it's kind of hard to see. But I showed in the video many times. Maybe type in Disney Store 666. Maybe they'll come in that way. But someone hopefully. There you go. Go to that one right there. There you go. There it is. Yeah. There's wow. There's a 666 on the looks like a brick planet or whatnot. And also, you being in Canada, you'll know about, of course, Toronto and MTV, Masonic TV, and it's
Yeah.
within a Masonic lodge. I'm sure you covered that before.
Yeah, the police headquarters is in a Masonic lodge, and it has the pillars outside of Yahin and Boaz.
Yeah, of course, they have the order of the police. Police is 33 numerology. Now, here's something I want to throw at you about the police. Of course, police being 33, Pol as in Polaris. They use a star, and that's Polaris, which I say is. I have an hour presentation on Polaris as Lucifer, but there's many aspects that people don't look at, like the K9, units. K is
Yes.
11, the 9. That's
Oh
9.
yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
see. I
Yeah.
get that.
So they also have the Billy Club. Don't make a false explanation, but that's for the Billy Goat. So they have many things. In California, they have the blue and the gold uniforms for the 33. So
And
there's
it was
many
you.
aspects.
It was you that pointed out the blue and the gold plane that took them the
Yeah.
TFE to Antarctica, which shows Masonic symbolism again, color coded, unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, like I said, signs, symbols, dates, numbers, and colors is what they're all about. They learn to communicate without speaking. So the universal language of non-speaking and symbols. One thing I'll point out too is not to deviate, but the movie Colors. That's all these Hollywood movies is programmed, but the Crips and the Blood, the red and blue. This is not organic. It's created by the elite. They want people to come home and be scared. They want you to be a fear of some boogeyman in a cave when you come home from work, that these gang members might be messing with you. They want you in the constant state of fear, pounding fear, 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 divide, 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 and that's a huge aspect of of the Masons. Basically, divide and conquer, fear, any which way. Well, it's trauma-based mind control when it comes down to it, where you cannot see what's happening. It's like this. The best analogy I have is this: how the human mind works. You can have someone that's extremely intelligent, a CEO of a company, but he can't find his keys to his cars. He's panicking. He's looking. He's panicking, and he looks down at his hands. There's his keys. When your mind is in the either in fear, some kind of emotion of fear, hate, your mind doesn't work properly, and that's what they want to do. The trauma-based mind control with society.
Wow. So again, very well said. We are covering some amazing stuff tonight. And again, everyone, none of this was planned, this live between me and RV here, but we are hitting all the nails right on the head here. We have a woman named Brenda Debates backstage here. I'm not sure if she deserves to be brought on, but everyone's telling me it's a troll starting. You familiar with Brenda? So yeah,
Brenda's is a he she agent at play. Coming in and disrupting flat Earth live streams. That's the job of him or her or whatever he claims or she claims to be. Very disruptive, and pay no attention.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but we're hitting on a lot of points. There's so much to hit on. We've obviously been covering in videos with Jaron Whitsitt and David Weiss, being the headline as far as damage control, which he's doing a horrible job of, to say the least. He looks at the emperor. He's so stressed out about everything. But the bottom line is these people are so transparent. All the flaws, all the mistakes are obvious. I mean, it's just a train wreck. The final experiment is a train wreck, and it's a complete embarrassment. But I want to get your thoughts about, like I said before, I think it's more or less, like a movie production where they present themselves in Antarctica. They had all the time in the world to use the Hollywood technology to fake this, faking some real with fake and that type of thing. For example, in cold regions, they can be in Canada, they can be, anywhere. It's December. It's perfect for them to be somewhere, even in the States, where it's cold, and pull this off. But it's a mixture of fake and real that's happening, obviously. And like I said, with today's technology, they can fake anything, and that's the scary thing about all this as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm very much for leaning towards not believing anything in this time now, with my knowledge of the video production industry, with virtual production, with AI. I'm not believing anything that comes even on the I've been suspicious for years whether these politicians were wearing masks or the deep fakes I've been looking into. I think they've been deep faking and wearing these masks for a while, coming
Hey,
on TV, pretending to be other people, and now it's just going to get a lot worse, and we won't even be able to tell the difference because AI can just generate things from scratch, like of anyone, from voice cloning. So we're in some very, very weird times.
King Nico, I have to mention something real quick. It's funny you mentioned that. I made a video on Joe Biden and the whole mask thing.
Yeah.
There is a CIA operative, and I forgot her name, but she showed up in the White House wearing a mask and talking to one of the presidents. And this, I forgot which president it was. It could have been Reagan or Bush, but she ended up taking off the mask. She had the title of basically all about wearing, having the false identity, wearing a mask. It's been a while since I made that video, but if you look at my my Joe Biden mask video where he's scratching his neck, and you can see these heavy creases on his neck, and you just touch your neck, and I don't care what age you are. If you touch your neck with your finger, you're not going to leave a heavy crease, no matter what age you
Yeah.
are. So they're using different individuals. They're using, in some cases, quote the real Joe Biden. Many people believe he's passed, but they're using different characters. They're using it's not cloning. They're using lookalikes. Like Madonna years ago, she said in a video, in an interview, I should say, she goes, I have 3 lookalikes of me for security reasons.
Wow.
Where, for airports and, I believe the lookalikes do her performances at concerts. She could just be at home. But that's what they're doing with people like Biden, of course. And even if he's alive, I don't believe he is. But they're just using lookalikes because over the years, he's looked dramatically different at different times. Even
Clearly
Trump.
different. Yes.
Yeah. Even Trump at times, they look like different Trumps even as well. So it saves these people, their puppets or head puppets on the world stage, from making all these traveling from here to there. It gives them a little break, having a look-alike just wave, arrive at the airport waving. You don't need the real Trump there. So they're all puppets, they're all actors. It's a satanic world stage, and a lot of lesser magic taking place as far as deception. They love to deceive. They love to have people very emotional over something that's not even real. They love this grand illusion that they created with this satanic deception. It even says in the Bible how the Antichrist will deceive many with lying wonders. That's
It's coming. That's what I see being set up and being prepared in this world. Like, you can see that the Masonic order is preparing the world, the society, the people in the society you can see and feel that it's ushering in this evil entity, right? So this is why I've been on it. I'm picking out all these different things. Foxy Music is asking you, RV, says, what do you think about the Pope opening the holy doors?
Yeah, it's just, more mockery, just like when the Pope and what's his name, Leonardo DiCaprio were talking about flat Earth. I covered that way back in 2015 or 16, but they're just mocking, just like when Pope Francis was, every time he mentioned God, he did the 666 sign. It's a reference to their God. So that's one thing people have to understand is when they say God, which God are they referring to? The God of the Bible or their God?
Yeah,
Who's
exactly.
Satan. So it's not by chance. I covered it where every time, like I said, Pope Francis mentioned God, he held up his hands and did the 666 hand sign. But yeah, all this is by design. Everything that's happening, everything gets spotlighted.
The timing too. So the Pope, remember, is opening doors the same time this whole TFE thing just happened. The same time, OpenAI announced that artificial intelligence has achieved sentientness and is now AGI, all in the same time, right? The same time frame.
Yeah, it's not by chance. What I believe is, on the topic of the Antichrist, I believe they put out a lot of false ones, and what I believe is it's truly from the bloodline. Like I said, when it comes to Freemasonry, which is Satanism in disguise, they have to reveal the truth in plain sight. When you had Prince Charles, now quote King Charles, come out and say that he has a bloodline going back to Vlad the Impaler, quote Dracula.
Correct.
He was in Romania in front of the castle, and basically Dracula, translated from Romanian to English, means son of the devil. So they're like, he's basically saying we're in the bloodline, we're the blue bloods, and I believe they're like a hybrid of humans, like the fallen angels. It's a mixture of fallen angels with humans from Genesis. So they're what I believe is, to be more concise, is I believe is coming out of the quote royal family. We don't know. We just can speculate
Yeah.
what's going to happen, but what looks obvious is not going to be the real one. When it looks too obvious, that's just a misdirect. But we always have to be able to come to new conclusions based on solid information. But I keep all doors open as far as who can be. I'm not, before I would say, oh, it's Obama or this, but there's a lot of signs, like they would have Obama in his limos named the Beast, and they had an actual placard for his campaigning. When you see Obama in a barbershop, when you back up, it's literally a 666 in plain sight. It was creepy and crazy. I have that video footage stored away. So they are Antichrist, but they're not the Antichrist. It could be Obama. It could be he comes back in scene, but I don't know. We don't know. But the main thing is we have to be very, very vigilant, not paranoid, vigilant moving forward, and who this individual can be. But we'll know it that when he survives the mortal wound, supposed mortal wound. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But everything's leading that direction. But they need that fake, false alien invasion to unite the world. That's what it comes down to.
I think that this date right here, the fact that it's been 666 months since the fake moon landing, which means that this society has spent 666 months under this false this hypnotized state of, oh, we're floating through a galaxy. We saw rockets go through the atmosphere, not the firmament, the atmosphere, and we saw humans land on a rock in space and play golf on it and put a flag. Like, so that opened up the doors again to life out there in the universe, life on other planets, life in other galaxies, opening the door for the fake alien invasion. So I think that knowing the way Satan works and these devils, that a way to celebrate the 666 months of this new world order would be to fake an invasion, to something's going to happen. And it's the fact that it falls on a day where America or Babylon is ushering in their new president, their new king, and it's falling in line with Revelation and the ushering in of the Antichrist. It's very alarming and very worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, and one thing is about the whole alien deception. It goes way back. Even Crowley stated about that drawing of that demon. He said,
AWA.
Yeah, and he exactly, exactly what we're getting at here, as far as what they call them now, something different later. Basically aliens are demons, and aliens in the name is a lie, and that's what it comes down to, a lie from hell. Even listen to this. This is how important people need to understand how the programming works. Atari 2600 was released September 11th, 1977. Their first games were Asteroids and Space Invaders. One of the two first games that were released. So you have a game based on an alien invasion, another one based on asteroids. So that's the card. Those are the final two cards.
Do you know what the name of one of the first ever gaming computers was called?
Was it Magnavox?
No, it's the Nimrod.
Really?
The Nimrod. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow. That's crazy.
And one of the first expeditions to Antarctica was in the early 1900s, between I think 1904 to 1907. Ernest Shackleton went to Antarctica, and the expedition was called the Nimrod Expedition.
Well, yeah, they're always putting their Baal, Nimrod, and that's another thing too. When it comes to Freemasonry, they like to give multiple names to certain things, like the G in Freemasonry. It's G is 33. When it comes to the alphabet, A through Z is 1 through 26, and you flip it over, G is 33. But it's great architect and a quote gravity. It means multiple things. So people are trying to pinpoint.
Apollo is another name for Nimrod. So the Apollo missions were the Nimrod mission, right? So any mission that went towards the firmament dome, they somehow named after Nimrod, or Apollo, which is another name for Nimrod. And what did Nimrod do? He was one of the first Antichrist psychopaths that held a rebellion against God, and his mission was to build the Tower of Babel, high enough and tall enough to reach the firmament and break through it. So again, these people, these organizations, the NASA, these expeditions that are hailing this person, they're still doing the exact same thing, just under a different format for
Yeah, you know what's interesting
psychological
too?
warfare.
You know what's interesting too? You mentioned Nimrod and the Tower of Babel. They actually, I think it's in Europe. I don't know. I forgot which country. It could be Sweden or Switzerland. They have the actual replica type building that resembles exactly the Tower of Babel. So just like we know, there's banks with the owl, and it was in Dallas, Texas. So they're putting their signs and symbols in plain sight, everywhere. And that's why I always tell people, with Manly P. Hall's book, it's very tedious read. There's a lot to go through, but if you can find some diamonds of truth, they put it out there where when the human race learns to read the language of symbolism, a great veil will fall from the eyes of men. So symbolism is their language, and we need to hone on that key on that to understand them and what's happening.
Yeah.
But their deception runs deep. It runs deeper than people can even think or imagine. And people can't go there. But I really want to emphasize how they work off the principle of duality, where if they tell us the sun is very far, it's close. If they say it's very large, it's very small. It's all opposite. They say we're spinning, we're not moving. If it's a ball, it's flat. Everything is based on the opposites. I have this whole layout of all these opposites from science compared to the Bible. Like in science, they say reptiles came first. The Bible said birds came first. So everything is flipped, and I talk about how they love to do things backwards, like the Michael Jackson backslide. That's a term. Backsliding is going against Christ, and kids are emulating and not knowing this is a satanic type of thing that they're doing. They don't pull these things out of thin air when they come up with these concepts with the backslide and the moonwalk. They also name it the moonwalk as well. It's the backslide of the moonwalk. But it also remember that band from Atlanta back in the 90s called Criss Cross, where they wore their clothes backwards, and all the kids and all the schools would copy it. So like the ice bucket challenge.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Every time they bring up these trends and it gets pushed, it's a ritual for the masses to partake in. Like you mentioned, the Michael Jackson moonwalk. They pushed that everywhere. Everyone wanted to do the backslide. That ALS bucket challenge, I believe, was some kind of satanic baptism.
Yes,
right?
exactly. And how about the milk carton challenge too? It looks just like the
the Freemasonic steppings. Yeah, the steps of the Freemasons. Yes, all Masonic stuff. So they're impregnating society, and they're preparing all the citizens, the masses, to perform these rituals willingly, so that when the time comes, it will just be like when the Antichrist come, everything's going to be a trend. Oh, it's going to be a trend. Everyone's getting the mark of the beast, and they're going to go do it and freaking post it on TikTok that they got a chip on their forehead, right? So
there's another one too I forgot about, and that was a mannequin challenge. Mannequin is 33 numerology. Challenge is 33. You have your dual 33s with a mannequin challenge. And I had a video of Masons doing it in a Masonic lodge. Remember that one?
Yeah, I think the mannequin one was when everyone was frozen and someone was walking. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, but that was, I had a video of Masons doing that in a lodge, and like I said, it's dual 33 with the mannequin and the challenge are both 33 numerology. So, they're very clever, and they get people to participate in their rituals. One thing I want to mention too about the event in New York, I'm going to be careful the way I frame things. Very important is when they had the ceremony after 1 year, they had the Scottish bagpipes playing. Of course, Scottish, the first Masonic lodge, was not in London, England. It was actually in Scotland. And what I'm getting is they're playing the Scottish bagpipes for Freemasonry. They're doing the ritual where those people are walking down a ramp, and there's this round circle, and people are walking around it like the eye of Lucifer. Like they're doing this, and it's on CBS News, which is the all-seeing eye as well. So they're doing things right in plain sight as a ritualistic, and we know 9/11 is obviously in Revelation. 9/11 is the name of the Antichrist. In plain sight, the towers came down after 33 years. The first tower was constructed, the North Tower, in 1968. That's why they had Space Odyssey 2001.
It stood for 33 years. Yeah.
Yes.
And the same year that it started construction was the same year that the the emergency phone code came out.
You got it, man.
911. Yeah.
You got it all, man. You know, preach to the choir, man. As far as all this is concerned, we're on the same page with many of this. But people don't understand. It's even the Pentagon. You know the groundbreaking date of the Pentagon, right?
No. Let me know. Tell me.
Yeah, September 11th, 1941. So you go 60 years, and that's when the quote event happened at the Pentagon. So all these things are dated. The groundbreaking for the Pentagon was September 11th, 1941. So you can Google that, and it's just some amazing coincidence. The groundbreaking to the groundbreaking again, basically, supposedly. Yeah, so it's crazy how they work off the number system and how things are planned well in advance. I'm going to be very careful the way I word this with Sandy, where you had the song Wizard of Oz, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Remember that? The kids were singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah, that thing is full of spells, that movie. And as you mentioned that, they have just re-released it again, a different version of this Wizard of Oz, and it is now named Wicked.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up quickly. Because
So
as you mentioned that, they're just getting more blatant with it. So here's the new Wizard of Oz film. It is called Wicked, and it's featuring
I did not know that.
all the kids' favorite star, Ariana Grande, is in it, playing Wendy or whoever the main character is in Wizard of Oz. And look at it, it's called Wicked. So again, they're coming out. Yeah, Mickey, yeah.
But one thing I want to mention about Wizard of Oz is with Judy Garland in the early 80s, they re-released her album Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and it was with Sandy You Know What production.
Wow.
On the cover. So that's where the kids, there's so many connections. There's so many things, but getting back to Wizard of Oz, the yellow brick road, the beginning is that swirl, and that's the indication of a serpent's tail. So they're literally walking on a serpent's coil all the way to meet the wizard. So that's the head of the snake. That's the yellow brick road. Yeah. So that's the thing about that. But yeah, man, it's a crazy world. Just don't tell anybody it's a crazy world. They'll call you crazy.
Yeah.
The unresearched. See, these people that in society, they have their eyes glued to propaganda all day. And the brainwashed don't know they're brainwashed. The program don't know their program. And to break that is like trying to break. You have a better chance of making a crack in a 20-foot brick concrete wall than opening up some minds. you know how difficult it is with family, friends, and people online. It's just all you can do is plant seeds and hopefully they sprout with people. That's the best thing to do sometimes. Just give some people some information and leave it there, and hopefully it sprouts. Because sometimes we are guilty of this. We try to get the information to them, and sometimes the more you push it, the more they resist. And that's the unfortunate thing.
You just gotta put it out there and let it be, and it'd be amazing. Like for me, I get so many surprises. People would just message me out of the blue one day and be like, "Oh my God, thanks to you, I woke up to flat Earth, and now I'm closer to Jesus." And I was like, "Wow, I wasn't expecting that." So you never know who's watching, who's listening, who's not commenting, but taking it all in, right? So that's why we got to stay vigilant in our work here, and now we know that we've got so much in common. Like it's what this whole TFE has done has backfired, and it's just strengthened the truth community and the army by getting rid of the fakes and uniting the real truthers together.
Absolutely. So what happened, like I said earlier, if people are joining in late, any type of quote controversy between me and King Nico has been completely squashed. And it's a good thing. I don't want to say it, but like I said, it's a good thing when you look at a perspective. In hindsight, we wouldn't be talking tonight if that didn't happen. We wouldn't be coming together stronger if that didn't. So this is, like they all saying, everything happens for a reason, and I definitely truly believe that as far as this is concerned. But yeah, as far as introducing people to the truth, it's like going into a swimming pool. You got to put your toes in, your foot in, slowly, gradually. Too much at once, and your whole body will freak out. So that's why I tell people you got to do it slowly, slowly. So it's like me introducing someone. Someone comes over to my house, and I have a plate of food. If I tell them you must eat this food, they're going to push that plate away. I say, hey, I got a plate of food. If you want it, go ahead and help yourself. If you don't want it, don't worry. They're more likely to sample it. So we have to have that psychology aspect when introducing truth. We have to be a little bit calculating when we introduce people to truth. And that's kind of like what I learned. And don't push too much too soon. People freak out and they run, and that's kind of what I've seen over the years. And some people will never get it. Some people will get it in time, but those that get it are meant to get it. They're intended to get it. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I've met a lot of people through my life that I introduced truth, and they thought I was absolutely out of my mind for a year, year and a half, 2 years. And then something clicks. But you know what usually happens, King Nico, is this. Usually they come back to me after I gave them all the information. There's something that triggers something in them, and they come back to me. It's not in the process of me hammering them all the time. It's after introducing a lot of information, then leaving them alone. Then they come back later. It's never like in your face, I got it. You're right. Never. They want to see it for themselves. They want to be able to digest it in their own time frame, but they got to see it all. This is the difficult thing. Oh, you got a little doggy there, huh?
Yeah, it's my prince.
Yeah, cute little doggy there. But yeah, like I said, they have, instead of just taking our word, we have to, there's so much we've seen they have it. So it's like introducing someone that's in first grade to, I hate to use a school analogy, but someone in first grade, put them in college, the next year. It's too advanced. They're not going to be able to process it. It's got to be slow steps. You got to go to the different grades of truth. The truth university, I call it. You got to work your way up to it. Truth is not something overnight.
No, it definitely isn't. I've been in this truth university or school, whatever it may be, for many years now, and and still deep in it, not going anywhere soon. So you can't leave. There's too much to learn and figure out and understand and to share. So
let me ask you this: what about the people around you, as far as people, your family, friends, colleagues? When it comes to truth, we all have had issues, with people around us. I'm sure it's no different with you.
So with me, I'm the black sheep of my family. I'm the only one that feels and thinks this way and has the passion for Jesus, even though I come from a Roman Catholic family. So you already know how that is. They're very wishy-washy and lukewarm in their ways and very pro-Mary. So for me, during pandemic, I was able to come together with other truthers because we started a resistance against the mandates that were going on back then. So that became my family throughout that time and through those years. So it was good.
Truth over everything. That's how I see it. How can we? This is what I tell people all the time. How can we sit down at a meal with family members or friends and they're talking nonsense about politics, fake news, fake garbage with the I'll call it the wax. And we just sit there. We can't just sit there and listen to this nonsense. We say something and then all hell breaks loose. I've actually had people tell me during a live stream I was doing a few years back that they showed one of my Flat Earth presentations back, I think it was 2016 or 17, and there was a fist fight at the Thanksgiving table over a Flat Earth video that they were watching that I made. So I found that not it's not funny, but it is funny. You know what I mean? That unfortunately that happened, but yeah, it's really divided. But I say truth over everything, and people talk about church. I'm like, this is what I really want to emphasize with people when they talk about going to church. These pastors and preachers at your local church, they don't expose the evildoers in the White House, or in your case in Canada, the Prime Minister there. What's his name? I forgot his name now.
Justin Castro.
Just exactly. Who's mentioned Flat Earth many, many times. Who's mentioned the North Pole many times.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in the bloodline for sure. But why would we listen to any of these televangelists, TV, or your local, preacher or pastor who's not giving real truth, who doesn't expose the liars that control this world? All they do is, we have to pray for the so-called victims of this event or that event. When we know it's like, how can we connect with these pastors when they're not giving the real truth? So that's what it comes down to. Real truthers. It's very hard to attend these churches with the glow behind them. In a lot of cases, it just doesn't sit well with us. So that's when they say, it says in the Bible, Satan deceives the whole world. He has control of the, unfortunately, the churches, because they're not. This is what I tell people too. They talk about the Bible being deceptive. I'm like, no, these pastors are not preaching the flat truth that's in the Bible.
Yeah.
They're listening to these lies. I don't say call them liars, but they're either knowingly or unwittingly pushing lies, which doesn't match with the Bible.
So
I know
RV,
Twitter-
so wait, quickly, you're agreeing that that the church has been infiltrated by Masonic pastors and preachers that cherry pick the Bible?
Unfortunately, there are. Unfortunately, in most cases, they know if they spoke out and spoke the real truth, their church would be shut down. I've actually spoke with a really nice man that has his own church. He was from Southern California, visiting Northern California, and I told him a lot about flat earth truth and all the lies and deception with the hoax. He goes, look, I agree with you, but if I said any of this stuff, my church would be shut down. So I try my best to get the truth out there, but I cannot say anything you're saying. If I did, I would lose my. So all I can do is basically, it's watered down truth. Basically, what he's saying. That's how I can keep going. And I think it's like people like doctors, nurses know a lot of truth, but they're not going to go against the grain. They have a mortgage. They have a family to feed.
Yeah, the same for doctors that practice medicine, and with all the pharmaceuticals, they're probably the same, under the same oath and secrecy, that their clinic will get shut down if they reveal the true meanings and results of some of these jabs that go around and poisons that they're giving people. So yeah, there's a lot that's being hidden from us, that people, it's the money is what's silencing the truth.
Yeah, and the whole thing about, is controversial regarding, like I said, I know it is with a lot of people about the churches, but if they're not speaking the whole real truth, like I said, there could be different situations with different individuals. Some are knowingly hiding the truth, or they're just brainwashed into believing and just basically ignoring the flat earth truth. There's one man named Vincent Rhodes, who's on YouTube, has a large channel, who used to watch me for many years. He told me, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll get into that. I just want to throw this in real quick, where he ignored my flat earth videos. He said he watched all my videos on all the topics about a lot of the psyops, but he ignored my flat earth videos until he heard me say one day in one live stream, the reason they want to hide the creator. This is Big Bang explosion from nothing supports evolution. There's nowhere in the Bible that says, obviously, God spoke this world through words, the creation through words, and anybody that tries to manipulate things to make it sound like that God created this earth through an explosion from nothing. It doesn't say anywhere in Genesis, and and God said, "Let there be a great explosion to create earth." There's nowhere like that, but they try to twist things to make that a possibility, and we know it's not. But like I said, it's really tough, because a lot of these churches, they speak a lot of truth, but I think they know their place, and that's what it comes down to. But we know this: the televangelists, yeah, they're Masons. They're Masons. They wouldn't be in that. They wouldn't be on TV unless they're not. They're not going to have a non. That's what I tell people all the time. You're not going to have a non-Mason in a place of power. This world is Masonically controlled. So what would a Mason say? Hey, why is a non-Mason getting a very prestigious or important place in society? So they're putting all their Masons in play when it comes to politics, when it comes to music, when it comes to the televangelists, Benny Hinn, these people, and their job is to make believing in a creator, believing the Bible look foolish. Just jacking around, people falling over, is to make people turn away from God, and that's a sad reality. Obviously, the sad real churches out there preaching real truth, but they okay.
Wait, hold tight for a second, because you are breaking up. But I just want to say, Yeah, what they're doing is hiding the creator. And the moment you look into any truth, especially flat earth, so I'm not saying that you need to understand flat earth for salvation. That you don't need that. That's why I don't really consider myself a flat earther. It's not that important. But obviously, when there's deception involved and trying to ruin the belief system, then obviously those people, these devils know that maybe there is some importance to it, and which is why we have to stand up and defend it. Because once you realize that they're hiding something such as the firmament, then you realize they're hiding our creator. And then you understand that the people that are in power and that rule this world are anti-God and anti-Jesus.
Yeah, 100%. You just hit it out of the park with. Speaking of hitting out of the park, it reminds me of that one scene from The Simpsons where a Homer hits the glass dome and water comes down, and the dome itself, the top of it looks like Antarctica. It's shaped like Antarctica when he breaks the dome. So there's so many clues.
Okay,
Have you
yes.
seen that one?
I
Remember
remember,
that one, huh?
yeah, we've all seen that, but I wasn't aware that the broken part was actually the shape of the fake Antarctica continent, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it's
I
shaped. You can
gotta
see
look
that
at
little, the edge that comes out and everything else. And also, too, correct me if I'm wrong here. Suppose the Jokers, the fake flat earthers, they went to Deception Island. That asked as far as, and here's something else I want to mention too, really quickly. People don't like when I say fly plane. Of course they can. That can't happen. It doesn't happen because they can't fly a plane from the southern tip of South America to Australia. People don't like when I mention that, and people say, "Well, they're going to fake that." I'm like, no, don't have the fake flat earthers involved. You put the real ones in there, and you demand that to happen. But the reality is this: we look at the ground we walk on. We don't look at things in the sky. Like I said, for anybody joining late, I call Jaron and Witsit and Fake Jake and all these other people. They're sky earthers. They're looking at the sky to determine where we're walking. But a really important thing I want to really emphasize is this, where it says in the Bible how the sun works as a circuit. A circuit goes around and nothing can hide from the heat. So while people are focusing on the sky where there's many things that can be happening, humidity, there's water vapor, a lensing effect can happen. We're trying to determine what's happening in the sky when the heat alone in the tropical region around the world, going around from Indonesia, going through Africa, going through Central America, South America, Ecuador, of course, Hawaii. These areas have the most tropical plants and animals living there. They cannot survive. There's certain plants that can't go under 50 degrees; they'll die. So they need a constant heat source. So you can look at the sky all day to determine a so-called map, but you make a map based on the ground. You don't make a map based in the sky. I've never seen a map based on what's happening in the sky.
Yeah, the sky map is separate to the earth
Happen
map,
what's
which
underneath
the
their feet,
Bible
and that's
does
what it
say
comes
that's
down.
separate.
Yes, the sky clock, we cannot, and that's what I talk about too, is we can view, as long as there's no clouds, we can view the Big Dipper, 365 days a year. And we know each transition of seasons, that's how you get the peace sign, which we know turned into something else in Germany. That's the sky clock right in front of our face with the Big Dipper and the four seasons, in plain sight. And if you look at the ancient depictions with the Indians, you could actually see the edges around the world as far as the map, the sky map, and the sky clock itself. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
very fascinating things
yeah,
with symbolism. But the main thing what I want to get in real quick, I'll let you continue, Nico, is where they're turning something peace. The peace sign is something evil. That's from the Bible. Turning something good to evil, evil to good.
yeah,
That's why they flip flop the Indian peace sign into something else. I can't say it here, but we know what I'm talking
yeah.
about.
I know exactly. I've shared that before. So yeah, we'll give it another 15 minutes max, so we can close
Okay,
out.
great.
So let's quickly go back because I know I showed it in the beginning. So we got
Yeah,
Jaronism
you know
here,
what I would say is,
and his logo's Saturn. Is that not Saturn right there?
yeah. So
Uh,
well,
sorry, go ahead.
he has the what is that? The moon behind it, moon behind the earth. I don't know what he's doing there, but it's definitely his religion. It's definitely Jeranism is his religion. Scientism, Jeranism, it's like
Yeah.
in the name itself, you know. But the bottom line is what's to come in the future. Jaron said he's gonna supposedly be leaving shortly. And people that have even 12, you know, this more.
You're breaking up real bad, RV. Sorry. I'm only talking because you're breaking up real bad.
Yes, yeah. So that happens with the connection sometimes. But the bottom line is Jaron knows he doesn't need to be believed. He wants to insert confusion. And I really need to emphasize that point in the 10-year plan. It's not a coincidence that they're dropping off after, 2015, 2025, the 10-year plan. And we have to be very vigilant, not paranoid, very vigilant moving forward and have our eyes open to everything that's happening around us. So I think something big, really big is going to happen. And our freedoms are going to be lessened more and more. Things are only get worse and worse as we know.
Yeah.
This.
So basically,
tighten their grip, less freedoms, and
that's the new world order. The big change is coming, and it's going to change the way we live, the way we view this world, the way we eat, drinks. Everything is going to be different. It's going to be one of the biggest changes for humanity since probably the Great Flood, right? So we're going through some, and as you can see here, I'm
calculated.
very.
I see the footage.
Yeah.
What I want to throw in real quick, King Nico, is this. Is the best analogy I have is slowly taking away our freedom. It's like this. If you have a jar full of quarters on your desk, if someone comes by and takes a quarter out every day, you're not going to notice it. That's what they're doing with our freedoms. They're slowly pecking away, slowly removing them like we're not going to notice. And that's what they've mastered over the years. Slowly are stripping us of our freedoms where they're all going to be gone and no one's going to even notice. It's just another day.
They've been chipping away, like you said, bit by bit, daily, monthly, weekly. No matter what it is, they're chipping away that little bit that you don't really notice, but it's adding up.
With the PSYOPs too, when a PSYOP happens, people are focusing on that. They're signing a new bill, signing a new law that people are not even paying attention. That's the perfect time for them to pass their new laws as well. But yeah, look at the footage as far as this is concerned. Look at all those 33s with the penguin everywhere in all the seats. It's just a movie. You're just looking at a movie, and that's all we're looking at with the clowns that supposedly went to Antarctica. And they think they're very clever. Even stupid things like Jaron saying he was smoking some weed in Antarctica just to play like I'm the cool guy. Look at me. I want to, just a bunch of BS, man. It's just
no, it's so sickening. Not serious. They wouldn't even dare risk bringing any of that near an airport or a plane to go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that stuff is illegal in Antarctica, like it still is in many United States.
Yeah, and how stupid would he look if he got busted during this experiment and say, Jaron, why didn't you go? Oh, because I got busted for this, and this. No, it's just another made up. It's like this. It's lie stacked upon lie stacked upon lie to make it sound more real. When they give us like little details, all these like with a lot of their PSYOPs, when they give us every little detail, it gives the illusion it's actually really happened. That's part of it as well. But it's a bunch of nonsense.
So Sarah G has made a good comment. Says comedy tragedy. So that word comedy is what they use. It's how they communicate truth by desensitizing the truth to you by using humor, some sick, twisted form of humor that they call comedy. So comedy is an anagram for my code. So it's a code that they use to communicate the truth by desensitizing it and by using this form of dark humor.
Yeah, and we know the mask, of course, associated with a comedy tragedy. The duality aspect, of course. And there's the plane with the 33 penguin on it. And and also I saw the ale, and ale, of course, EL is L for so-called God, L, like Jor-El, they're always coded. Everything's coded. Yeah, exactly.
All the orange codes, see all the orange? There's a lot of orange they had to wear just to enter wherever they entered to show who they were. And then afterwards, all the coats changed to blue. So, yeah, they were wearing orange and blue codes to code well, because obviously no, if they did land in Antarctica, only Masons are allowed to go there. So
Yeah, there's a golden blue as well, like I mentioned, the golden blue 33, and that's only in Pythagoras and Chaldean, and also the penguin, like I mentioned. You know, I'd love to see. You know, we're not going to see. I highly doubt it. Is an actual footage of that plane landing, in Antarctica. I mean, from the ground. You know, show us that. But they can, you know, the problem is they can fake anything nowadays with today's technology. That's the problem. That's the problem. So we, you know, video evidence, photo evidence. But the thing is, they're literally showing us that it's all fake. And of course, as you shown, King Nico with Dave McKeegan in the boot, was that left boot under the table. They like the aspect of the boot or the shoe, as far as Masonic ceremony. One shoe on, one shoe off, one glove on, one glove off, one breast showing, one breast covered. They like it's just duality. It's just a duality aspect at play.
and it's how Austin the other day. So when they did the simultaneous lives, Austin went on to Jaren's live wearing a red hoodie. And then when he got off of Jaren's live, he started his own live, and then he was wearing a blue hoodie.
Yeah. It's color coordinated, everything they're doing. But the most ridiculous thing is, was I gotta say is the footage with Witsa that you covered, with the laptop, and you know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was pretty much
like I said, these are the worst actors. I think it's getting cut off here.
Yeah,
I
that
see
was
the
pretty
screen
much
circling. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That was the biggest nail in the
Okay.
coffin, which pretty much just discredited the whole operation. And yet we found more discrepancies. So yeah.
There's a lot, and there's more to come because they're going to be releasing more footage, and there's going to be more angles to cover, of course, when it comes to this complete nonsense. But what I really want to emphasize with people is this: they're not going to have an organic truth movement on YouTube. They got to control every aspect. That's what people that follow Jaren and Dave Weiss don't understand. The biggest names that get spotlighted, they're always going to be the controlled op. They're not going to allow me or you to have these enormous channels and then show up on TV. It's not going to happen. Period.
No, it can't. Why would they allow it when we're using their platforms to expose them? You know what I mean? So of course they're gonna restrict and censor people like you, yourself, and
You know
me.
what's funny? Yeah, exactly. You know what's kind of funny too? You know, talking about all this stuff with Flat Earth and YouTube and Google and everything else. You know, the funny thing is they always have that that banner underneath Flat Earth videos. But the funny thing is Google has all these, and I covered it back in 2015. They have all these Earth days showing the Flat Earth model with the dome. You know, with the dome or Flat Earth, and there's multiple. It's not like one or two. It's like there's like 8, 10, or whatever on Earth days. So the same ones saying, and also actually the Google Chrome logo is the Flat Earth model as well. And I've pointed out in videos in the past. There's a lot of things hidden in plain sight. People can read the signs, like the song by Ace Base. I saw the signs. It opened up my mind. I saw the signs. Yeah. Masons created that. There's another song by Depeche Mode. Enjoy the silence. Words are violence. Words are meaningless.
Familiar.
That's all Masonic coded. It's all Masonic coded. And of course, when they played that song, Enjoy the Silence, on top of was it the South Tower? No, I forgot which tower it was, but they played that in 1990 with that did that music video. But yeah, and it says, and your little world comes crashing in.
Quickly, while RV is breaking up there, just thank you to LJ for the $2 super chat. Says, I'm Chaldean, which is a Christian Iraqi in the USA now. So good to see you, LJ.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people, you know, coming all over the world to the US, but they're controlling it all. It doesn't matter where you go. It's you know, it's all going to be under the same flag of the New World Order. George Bush said it in 1991, of course. You know, what's funny is there's that movie called Conspiracy Theory where Mel Gibson, who's 33 numerology, says, you know, he's in that cab playing the crazy conspiracy theorists. He talks about George Bush being a 33rd degree Freemason. You'll never hear that on TV. that George Bush is a third degree Freemason, but they see it in movies. Truth in movies.
But they are. We know that. Even the British royal family, from King George, King Charles, all of them, they're all Masons, right?
Yeah.
So,
but it's funny they put it in a movie. You'll never hear that on TV. How George Bush is a third degree Freemason, but it comes out of Mel Gibson, who's a third degree himself in numerology, saying how George Bush, and he talks about the New World Order and everything else. It's really amazing. But not to deviate too far off flat Earth, but there's so many truth traps being set as far as and what they're doing as well. They're setting a lot of these traps as well, and I think obviously purposely doing it, like you mentioned, King Nico, with the title of the videos by Witsit in reference to the moon landing and
very
all
coded.
the nonsense.
Yeah. And then he referenced SpaceX with the fake roadster in space. So they're really mocking. I don't feel like it's Witsit that is coming up with the titles for these videos. It's clear that someone is telling him what to put, and he's just doing it, right? So
yeah. Like for example, like when Jaron, you remember that rhyme he had or that poem? He didn't write that. You can.
It contained everything that we went over in just a few hours, and I was like, wait, he's already got this poem that has all of this in. Like, when did this poem come about? Was this written during? Did they know what they were gonna show and be busted for that we'd catch on to? Because that was all included in there, right? So I'm like, whoa, this is some sick black magic ritual confession poem, right? So
yeah, and of course, mentioned me and many other people in truth. But it kind of reminds me of like the SNL clip. I think it's SNL with Jim Carrey mocking people that believe in the moon landing, and it's Jay Leno show. In the back and forth between them, you can see it's completely scripted. Completely scripted about Jim Carrey mocking people that believe. And people actually believe they ran the moon. He's all laughing, and people.
Yeah, he's like, "What a fish story!" Yeah.
What a fish story. But you can see the setup by Jay Leno. You can see it's completely scripted. Just like when Buzz Aldrin showed up on the Conan O'Brien show, you can see Conan and Brian give a Masonic handshake as people are walking in. You can clearly see the Masonic handshake when I showed it in the video. When you freeze frame it, Conan and Brian shaking Buzz Aldrin, who is an admitted Mason. Many photos of him in lodges and wearing the Masonic fez and all these things. But they're obviously all these big names are Masons. But the confirmation through signs and symbols, the handshakes and all that. Even Jimmy Kimmel, he's operating out of a Masonic temple. It's a complete joke, and you tell this to people, they'll just ignore it like it doesn't mean anything. It's ridiculous.
So I've just paused it here on a receipt, a passenger receipt. So I'm not sure if anyone's zoomed in on this yet for any details that Jaron was burning a hole into. So excess baggage ticket. Oh, there's just 66 right there. Ticket number.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, brother, but that 66 in numerology, 66 is 33. So if you type in, no, I'm sorry. If you write out 33, it's 66 in numerology. In I believe it's Pythagorean. Just write out 33. Yeah, it's 66. There you go. It could be more.
Yeah, 66 and 4 reduction. Yep, and it's in the
in several ones. Yeah.
But, and it's 846. So 33 equals 846.
Yeah.
This is a big number that we cover. Yeah. That's why my channel name contains 846, because tribulation equals 846. Revelation.
Yep, there you go.
726. Yeah. But yeah, we got a lot of 846s. So the reason why 846 is again, the fallen angels is 666 in the satanic cipher and 846.
That's
so
crazy,
quickly,
yeah.
I know Joseph was in the chat earlier, but I just want to bring something up on the screen so you guys know the significance of 846. There we go. So the first piece of metal or hologram hit on September 2001. It struck the North Tower of the World Center in the new city at 8:46 a.m. Eastern time. So the first
Yeah,
bomb went off at 8:46 a.m. on that day for the ritual. Was it George Floyd?
yeah.
So how long? It was 8 minutes and 46 seconds that the knee was on the neck. So
Wow.
people, and again, George Floyd is 8:46, so that's all there to be seen. Which happened, like all this stuff is to trigger. That's what triggered the BLM movement and the riots across North America.
Also, you
With
see
its,
this. You see the handcuff is a 3. 2 handcuffs is 33. I showed that in videos as well. So you have the handcuffs open with the police. You just showed that with George.
yeah,
So
this.
when you have
Oh
2
yeah,
handcuffs,
3. Yes, I see
it's a
it.
3. I have that in a live stream where I show the 33 with 2 handcuffs with the police 33 as well. One thing I want to throw at you real quick is remember from Back to the Future when Marty tells Doc, "I have to tell you about the future," and Doc says, "No." And the
I have.
time was, I believe it was 9:56, 9:56, and that's when exactly when that guy, what was his name, something Brown, Aaron Brown, live was like the same exact time. Where basically on the clock tower, it was the same time when Marty says, "I have to tell you about the future." I think it was 9:58 or 9:50. Forget the time, but when you look at September 11th, it's the same time when you hear an explosion go off and the tower starts to crumble. So they timed that precisely just like the
Yeah.
movie. They have to tell us their plans, of course. And of course, all the 9/11 and all the and Back to the Future 2 with old McFly upside down and the towers falling going up from his perspective, they're going down, and in the Statue of Liberty, the torch, right in front in the living room, and all that stuff. I mean, there's so many things we can cover. We could do a whole live stream about Back to the Future, flat Earth, 9/11, and there's so much in there.
Sorry, I keep getting kicked out. That's like the 4th, 5th time this live
Yeah.
stream. But yeah, Lucifer is the Statue of Liberty. Is Lucifer in drag,
Yeah,
and it's
I've covered
insane.
that. I covered that a long time ago in a video, showing that, and also showing Helios, basically the same thing when he's holding his cape, and you can see it's a man. And of course, Lady Liberty LL is 33 as well. But yeah, I've covered the statue. One thing I would mention too, just as sort of we're throwing a lot of things around, might be way off topic, but one thing I find kind of funny is there's photos going way back in time of the Statue of Liberty being created in France. I mean,
Oh, I think those are manipulated pictures.
they can
I
be
don't.
manipulated. They can be
Yeah,
manipulated, but there are some. I mean, they obviously created it at some point. But what I'm getting at is this: we have these so-called photos, but we don't have any video construction of the ISS. And how many shuttle launches to create this so-called enormous space station, the ISS. It's ridiculous. We have only animation, but we have these so-called photos of the Statue of Liberty being constructed in France. But we all know there's manipulation and lies, and they stack lies on top of lies where even when you uncover one lie, that's a lie as well. Basically, what's
yeah.
happening. They're just, again, they want to be the ones with the knowledge. They want to keep everybody dumbed down for the sake of manipulation, for the sake of control, of course.
Unbelievable. So I think we should call it there, RV.
Yeah.
We've hit the 2-hour mark. There's no point in keeping anyone any longer or overstaying the welcome. So it's been an excellent live, very unplanned. It was great to have you on, and we've just gone with it. And it's pretty much shown that we got so much in common. We can talk about anything. We speak the same language. We're after the same things. We're exposing the same demons, the same devils, and we're trusting in the same Jesus. So that's I don't see that as an issue there. So I'm glad we were able to come to an agreement and realize our differences that weren't so different, and we've squashed everything, and we're gonna show everyone that it can be done. Not everything that starts off with beef is gonna stay that way for a long time, so things can be worked out very quickly, and watch us get straight back on it, exposing these demons. And it's going to be great to have you as an ally, someone to share stuff with. And so I'm looking forward to what we're going to get done this year, RV.
Absolutely. We have to thank Banjo for setting this all up, because he's the one that sent me your channel at first, and that's really, really important. And also, I want to say this in closing: the problems between people is mainly this: it's no communication or poor communication. Once you get to communication, as long as we're on the same page, the same philosophy, the same mindset, things can be worked out. Because you're the one that's put out all the stuff that everybody's sharing. You're the one that's with the footprints, with the vape gate. You're the one that initially that a lot of credit has to go to you for that.
It's all of us here at the Crusaders. I'm getting a lot of help from the people that are some big supporters of the channel, and they're very good researchers, and we all work collectively together. So yeah,
awesome. But I'm not going to hold you guys up either, but I want to thank you, King Nico. I'm glad we got this all ironed out. Like I said, I'll be repetitive about this: all good and bad things lead to the good. And definitely, I'm so happy that we had this live stream. I thought it was an awesome live stream.
Yeah, honestly. And I just, before you go,
the first time we were talking was today.
Yeah. So before you go, I just want to say, yeah, we all make mistakes. I did make a mistake. I wasn't too firm with my explanation of some of the videos I was showing regarding Vapegate. And of course, I mentioned some names I shouldn't have been mentioning that are blasphemous to Jesus. And many people did warn me. My good friend here, True Christian, warned me. And I did suffer the consequences just by even mentioning this person's name. So I'm learning real fast. I appreciate the tough love, and I'm a man, so we can talk things out, which we did. And I'm looking forward to this year, man. So God bless you, RV. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to everything that we're going to be putting out this year. But first of all, we're going to finish off with getting this TFE scam out the way, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. God bless you too, as well. Apologies, to you, and accepted from you as well. We got this all worked out, and together, obviously, all of us in the real flat earthers coming together is really important. We don't want to fragment us, and we need to focus on the liars and the obvious shills who've been operating, and focus on them. And we need to come together. We really need to come together this time specifically, and the people exposing the liars should be working together, not fighting. That's definitely an important point. And God bless you, brother. Thanks so much for having me on. Everybody out there listening as well, God bless you all. You're on the right channel. We're on the right track, and moving forward, we're going to continue, like you said, King Nico, is to expose the demons. I like when you say that.
Sir. Yes, sir. And again, thank you to Flat Earth Banjo. He is currently live now, so we're going to end this live, and everyone can go check out Flat Earth Banjo. All right. So it was great having Russian vids on with us today. Yeah, we had a couple of days battling back and forth, and the internet was getting excited over this beef, but we squashed it quick. We're not trying to bring that to our community, fighting amongst each other when it's unnecessary. So I hope everyone enjoyed the live. Again, it was unplanned. I was going to come over and go over some of Vapegate and Austin's response to the Crusaders here, but that's going to have to wait another day for now, and I'll do my best to get that on, because now more videos are being released. We have to go over Jaren's new 666 video, which is the 5-hour GoPro footage, which is, I've already gone over it. It's cut and spliced. It doesn't prove or show anything that we need to say, yes, this proves that the 24-hour live video is real. It is not proving that. So we're standing by everything. The whole TFE PSYOP is a scam. It's fake. It's complete fraudulent, and we're not buying it. They can keep releasing these videos. They can release an 800-hour video. It's already way past the due. We don't want your moldy, covered in maggot footage. Whew. So again, I've had too many internet problems with this live today. I got to sort that out. So apologies for any interruptions. Hopefully I did get to everyone's comments. I did share it on the screen, so I wouldn't have to like constantly be trying to go through them to see them. I did have a couple of mods with Joseph Aquaviva and True Christians. So yeah, we're working on getting things running a lot smoother and better here at Crusaders. We're making some good friends and allies in the community. And as he said, it was good that we got into this disagreement, because otherwise we wouldn't be talking and doing all this right now. So sometimes good things come from bad situations. So I'm just going to put the comments back on the screen quickly, even though it's disconnected here. So everyone can just quickly give some final thoughts. What do you think regarding me and RV squashing things and now turning back, facing forward, marching towards whatever demons are in the way, gatekeeping truth? We're going to get rid of them. I'm telling you, Freemason Devil Slayer coming full force 2025. So let's see some more comments while I quickly talk and just recap what we went over today. Forget it, guys. This thing is playing up way too much. We got too many people in here that for a show that's not kind of running too smooth tonight. So there's a lot of internet problems. Casey says the internet has been terrible everywhere. Texas, Cali, New Zealand. I know because I have friends telling me in these places. So then RV and Nico just had connection issues. Something is up. Yeah, something is up. This could be the beginning of Project Bluebeam and some kind of invasion. We're here, 2025. Everyone, I want to thank God's Firmament for the idea for the meme of Disney's Freemasons on Ice, as you can see in the thumbnail. So I appreciate you thinking and coming up with that. Yeah, so we're all going to give RV a second chance because he did apologize, and basically that's all I wanted. I said in this morning's live, which is now taken down, that, you know, he just had to do the right thing, and he did. So I appreciate him for that. Again, that's his channel there. They Live Truth. So yeah, we're doing good things here. And Tatum's tantrum, throwing tantrums in the chat, start to finish. This guy will be in the comments, blasting it out before the live starts, and he'll be there after the live ends. Yep, you're welcome, brother. So I'm ending this live. God bless you, everyone. It's been great being on here, talking with RV, and you can all watch back and see for yourselves everything that was discussed. Yeah, Eve Sinner Saint says it's all going to work out in the end. God's Firmament says, RV, I unsubbed to you a long time ago, but I'm subbing again. God bless you, buddy. Appreciate that, God's Firmament. We got to build our channels up. We are real truthers. RV's been exposing these gatekeepers for a while. So everyone deserves a second chance. All right, guys. It's been great. I appreciate everyone. Much love, and I will see you all soon.